Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hello there. My name is HW.
Hey, I'm the Suze.
Octaves. Tasty.
Well done.
Well done. These are delicious.
Yeah.
Suze, some people were asking how do you do a Pog effect on the Kemper?
Yeah.
And then we realized we don't own a Pog anymore.
Right.
Because we just use what's on the Kemper.
Yeah.
So, but we found out in talking, there's actually two options in the Kemper for octave effects. Mm-hmm. It turns out you use one, I use the other.
Right.
And I don't, let's cover them. This is called octaves. We put them both in here.
Yeah.
Play this. There's a little bit of dirt. We got a tube screamer, a compressor. This is all built on the Avenger 33 profile. The third one.
Avenge 3?
The Avenge 3 or something. Avenge 33. Mm-hmm. And it's a free download. You can get it in the link there or there. And it's called Octaves. We got a little tube screamer, little chromatic thing going on. Mm-hmm. What do we have going on?
So it's it's an octave down, an octave up, and it's favoring the octave down.
Right, and we do that. We set voice 1 to an octave down, -12, right? Because it's in semitones.
Frets.
Yep, frets, semitones, right? We have this voice balance, which balances us between high and low octaves. Which one's going to be more of a voice? Once you mix those together, you have your mix control that lets you control how much of the dry guitar versus the effect you're getting. So we're getting a healthy amount of dry guitar, and we're adding in a little. We're favoring the low octave, and then we've got a ducking and a volume control, which people can figure out what that means. And boom, here we go.
You want to hear maybe like off first, and then we can
Yeah, sure.
kick
Here
it
you
on?
go. Here's an off.
Pretty cool.
I mean, I'd guess it was a Pog.
Yeah, and I like using it like that. It's subtle, but it definitely thickens like lead lines or single note stuff. Like that was how I always used. I had the pitchfork, like the
me too.
harmonics. If I would just kick it on for stuff like that, it was never like I didn't do the 12-string sound or anything like that. It was mostly just I like playing high and then adding the low octave.
Right.
As opposed to like playing a line down here and then trying to get that high one. It's a little bit more brittle sounding, that high one.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a sound. It doesn't necessarily sound like a... I mean, the Pog has a sound that people now like because of its sound, right?
Right.
Speaking of the... play a little bit, and I'll just show them the detune effect. Speaking of the 12-string.
Okay. You want like single stuff or chords?
It's like chords, you know. See, partway through I realized that a 12-string doesn't have the low octave, so I pulled it out.
Oh yeah.
Because and then you add the detune, and then you start favoring, change the mix a little bit.
Yeah.
That is one way to do it. You can have multiple voices this way, and that's the chromatic pitch algorithm. The other way, and the way I've been doing it, and I don't really know if it sounds different or if it sounds better, is I've been using this harmonic pitch. And this is where you can actually set a key, and then you can set 2 different intervals. Now you could set these; these will move around with you. If you're in the key of C, you can set it to always be a second.
You're talking about guitarmonies.
Guitarmonies, yeah, these are real guitarmonies. So if you were to play right now in the key of C, here is what a third would sound like. That's beautiful. Now, if I were to change that to the key of D flat, but you still play in the key of C, and let's just listen to how horrendous this will sound. Well,
yeah, it's not good.
It's gonna, yeah. The interval keeps being off. So That's of course what you can do there. So you set your key. Now, if you don't set it to an interval that is anything but an octave, then the key really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right? So I always set mine to +1 or -1. Usually if I play high, it's -1. And if I maybe want an octave part, and then I just leave the other one at unison.
Okay.
And the only thing that I've discovered about this is this formant shift gives you a lot of sort of weird stuff going on. So try this. Play something low. It gives you this high one.
It
will get really crazy. And you know what it actually reminds me of? The old M9s had a shifter thing, and they would get this sort of tone where they sounded like a marimba kind of thing. And I would sometimes throw that in for wacky parts or something.
Okay.
And it just sounded completely weird.
Right.
I mean, you can also back this off and do the low thing. You can go to unison.
And it still has like a blend over them, right?
It does. It still has the same controls.
Okay.
Voice balance.
Okay.
So here, I'm gonna try to put it a little bit like yours was. And
do you have the high octave in there?
Yeah, I'll add it in.
Okay.
So, and it'll be like this. So, boom. Again, I don't know that these are actually very different, other than we have the formant shift here.
The format's nice, yeah. I used to have like the big, like the Pog 2 or whatever that had like the sliders on it. And that was really cool because you could darken the only the affected sounds.
Yeah.
You know, just so it wasn't as like
as
painful. You know?
Yeah, crazy. Try this.
Synthy.
It is almost synthy. It is. It's really, that formant shift really does a lot. So it's two ways to do the same thing.
Yeah. And we like doing it before the amp, just for like the realistic placement kind of thing.
Yeah, and I used to always put mine before drives even. Okay. But here it is.
And you could flop those very easily.
Yeah, you could switch those very easily. We didn't build it that way, but you could. Where did you run yours? Before drive?
I made a performance today that went compressor, octave, and then drive. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
But on your pedal board, what did you use to run? I always had the pitchfork.
I had it really early, like before the drives.
Yeah, I think I had it tuner, then pitchfork.
Yeah, I think I liked the sound of the overdrives trying to distort whatever it was hearing from the Pog rather than like trying to add an octave up.
Yeah, so you could place this all over. You theoretically, easily with the Kemper, could just place it afterwards.
Huh. I've never run it after that.
Yeah, me neither. We'll have to try that. We'll have to try that one day. But this, I don't know. I really like the formant shift.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I just have it. I have like one. There's a simple octave that's in the HW Nose Tone Performance. Mm-hmm. So it's two ways to do the same thing.
Do you run octave up?
Mostly up.
Up. Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Down. I play up and then I let the low voice come out.
Okay.
And for me, doing the Sunday stuff, the octave is for when there's a high line, not a rhythm part, right? So it's really specific for me for when I'm just playing a single, ba da 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 da, not ba da 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 da, like not like I'm trying to sing multiple like voices.
It's really good.
But not like a triad. Or not a really rhythmic thing, not something like that. But if I'm just if there's some line, ba da 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 da, and I feel like I'm the only guitar, and I have to sacrifice fullness to play this line, I feel like the octave really helps there.
Yeah. A lot of, or I'll use it if like a recording has two octaves or two guys doubling apart.
Right.
Like I'll just double it with this effect.
Line in the Lamb.
Yeah, or Great Things. You know that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of uses, and like how what you played in the beginning of the video, it just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, nobody's fooled in thinking that's 2 guitars.
No.
Or like, hey, it sounds more full. It's like there's low, there's high, there's the guitar. It just sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that spot for it too.
Also, try it with a fuzz. It's also super cool.
Well, and the other thing that's in here, and this won't be saved in there, but let's just show them the analog octaver real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this won't be saved in there, but what am I doing here? Okay, we'll show the analog octaver is messy and crazy. Why? Because, you know, if you go buy like an analog octaver, it's monophonic. So all it can do is this one thing.
It's like one of those Boss, like, you know, the brown one that bass players use.
That I think actually, that's exactly. Or Electro-Harmonics makes one. There's been a bunch, you know, but really it's the octave that's in the old fuzzes.
Right.
Try this. Beautiful. They give you a low cut on there. Play a chord though.
It's not terrible, but
Actually, this works a lot better than a real one.
yeah, where it's like
Real analog octaves don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm wrong in even saying this is microphonic. This is monophonic, not microphonic. Tubes go microphonic. Microphonic would be you turn this on and it goes me.
Like if you tap
that
it,
would
it's
be
like,
pap, pap, yeah. No, it's actually not even monophonic. It is polyphonic, but it gives you the feel of like a monophonic analog octaver, which is like on purpose messy.
Simple controls too, just 3, right?
Yeah, just mix, voice balance, and low cut.
It's pretty cool.
You can really cut the lows out. Well,
octaves.
Delish. Hey, this is helpful. If you guys get something out of these tips and tricks videos, or you just like the free downloads, do us a favor, like, subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, share with your friends, leave a comment. It means the world.
It really does.
I've been HW.
Been Suze.
Suze, I'm going to put you back on your thing here, and I'm going to let you play us out. Here is. Why is format shift
grayed out?
Why? Like, how do I turn it back on?
Oh, there's a little button up there.
You can turn it back on.
Oh, that's on the Chromatic one.
That's on yours. Try that.
Dude, you learn something new every day.
Well, now I don't know what the advantage of using mine is.
Wow. The only one would be the guitar minis.
Yeah. Amazing.
Pretty cool.
There's some pure tuning and smooth chords. People can look those up. I think the defaults on sound great, and I never really mess with them.
Yeah, same.
Cool. Play us out, Suze.